All right, welcome everyone. We'll get started. This is the last session of the day. I had the privilege of starting the day and ending the day. So hopefully, I don't expect we'll take the entire 30 minutes because, I know I want to get to the social and you guys probably do too. But thank you for coming. I'm Michael Blair. I'm with Innovate. This session is about a data management tool that we built. Some of you, I recognize your faces from the metadata sessions. This is a presentation that dovetails well with that discussion as well. There will be plenty of time for Q&A, so please get those all aligned. So just a quick little slide about what Innovate or who we are. Not a lot of folks know who we are. We are based out of Alexandria, Virginia. That's where we're headquarters, but we're a remote company. We're spread across the country. I actually live in New Bern, so Alice's plenary about New Bern touched near and dear to my heart because it was pretty devastating. But we are across the country. I am originally from New Hampshire, so yes, I got indoctrinated first by an 8-inch snowstorm, which no, I did not bring, and then a hurricane. So it's been a whirlwind of the last couple of years. But we do everything from soup to nuts, hardware, software, application development, training, et cetera, et cetera. We are an 8A women-owned small business. We have over 50 GIS professionals. We've won multiple awards. We got the Innovation Award from Esri Fed Small Business last year for this application. We are a silver partner, work with Adam, if you were in Adam's session last time, small business specialty, et cetera. We also support Arrow's data center, so the USGS and the Landsat data. So if you use that stuff, we've probably had our hands in it. We do work at the federal level, state level, city, county, local, private, et cetera. And we are supporting the city of New Bern right now with their enterprise deployment, which is kind of fun. So how many of you are GIS managers or manage the data? So a few of you. How many of you have been around for a little while? So you have lots of stuff, lots of places, and it's just a soup of stuff and you're not really sure where it is. A few more hands. Right. I've been in this industry for more decades than I care to admit, and I remember those floppy disks, and then it went to Bernoulli drives, and then it went to micro disks, and now on VMs and the whole thing. So EPA Region 9, they're on the West Coast, but this is applicable to probably every agency out there. I've heard many examples in North Carolina, all across states, across county governments, local municipalities, private enterprise, where you have just a lot of stuff that you got to try to keep track of. That could be metadata, could be the actual services, the data itself. So we tried to unravel this big envelope, and it was a compilation of using ArcGIS Online, Server, SQL Server, along with Django and Python scripting. So Django is a Python web-based framework like JavaScript, but it's written specifically in Python. And then a bunch of services. So why did they restructure? Well, if you went to Adam's talk, organization, right? So they needed to create standards and formats, and things change over time. Nothing is ever the same. And whenever things change, you are in a constant clean, your spring cleaning. We do it at home. Spring cleaning happens and you want to do this. Now you got to rip everything out. Well, why would you tear down your house if you just want to change the cabinet, right? Well, you don't want to do that. So this was a process in order to have us make a system in place. And also much of the data was very project centric. So you have this road data. Well, I want to do some analysis or some time change stuff. So I'm going to make a copy of that. I'm going to do some work, and then I'm going to put that over into this folder. And what the heck, where was that? Why did I call it that name? Whatever it is. And so you're duplicating information. Also, when you don't have a dedicated, 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 it just becomes this bowl of spaghetti. So it was really important to establish some standard operating procedures so that you could track data across multiple systems and to enforce these standards. Well, it's nice to have a book on a shelf or a white paper that no one ever reads, because I bet you I'll get a bunch of, yep, we generated that strategic plan. Everyone signed off on it. It's great. We love it, but no one reads it. No one enforces it. So you spend all of this time, money, in order to create these great documents that people put a lot of labor into that then ultimately sit on a shelf. You don't, the enforcements and the processes and the visions that you had get lost because now you're constantly doing these cleanups. So some of the questions that we were trying to implement with these standards in this process was, how do I do my job better, faster? What information is missing? So in EPA, along with, we heard in North Carolina, you have this metadata standard and this profile. And so I need to know really quickly which data are missing, just the basic metadata. I'm trying to share this out to the public in an open data process. I need to make sure that I get a quick report, quick snapshot. It's not just sitting in an Excel spreadsheet that I have to constantly update. How do I do this? EPA has an environmental gateway, as well as an EME, which is another acronym. If you work with federal government, it's acronym du jour. You think GIS has a lot of acronyms? Get in the federal space. But they have metadata that's published through this gateway. It's supposed to be searchable. We talk about the kind of the trials and tribulations of that. Also, if you have data, a feature class, and is published as a map service or a feature service, what is it? Where is it? How is it consumed? Is it in the geo platform? Is it online? Because it's great if you have your data on premises in your own infrastructure, but once it goes out in the world, who has it? Where is it being consumed? All of that information, and you want to make sure that it's being updated constantly. So enter the dashboard, enter the data management tool. So the data management tool is a dashboard. It's a web-based application built in Django with Python scripting that consumes the metadata from all of the feature classes, all of the data that's both in the cloud, hybrid approach, and on-prem. So it's a piece of software that allows you to generate a report, tells me how many feature classes are in there, how many of them have abstracts, how many of them have metadata, how many of them are in the cloud. And it's not just an import or an export, it's actually a real-time consumer. So many systems, you have to hit export and then run a report and then give me that data in an Excel spreadsheet and then analyze it. This is a dashboard that's run in real time. So I'm going to go through this. Hopefully it's somewhat legible. So the immediate dashboard, which I showed you, is just a snapshot. So I'm an administrator. I'm a supervisor. I want to see what the heck's going on in my enterprise. So that's what they typically look at. But then they go in and they start looking into the actual data. And again, this is being extracted directly from the services themselves. There's no human interaction here. It's all in an automated process. So it tells us which database that feature class is in, the name of the feature class, which environment is in, is it on-prem, is there an abstract, is there metadata there, and all the green checks, that's really good, right? You want green checks, you don't want red X's. Is it on the geo platform? Is it scheduled for an update cycle? When was it updated? When was it checked? So again, it's an easy report that I can look at it and say, got it. We need to schedule this for an update or we don't. It is searchable, so you can go in and search specific key terms. You can assign tasks to individual entities. You can also filter by, if you have multiple instances, multiple databases, multiple environments, if you've tagged any of your data, so wetlands, floodplains, parcels, cadastral, whatever, you can filter all of that information out. And again, here's another dashboard that provides us with, does this does this feature class have an abstract, a fully qualified metadata, and that metadata standard can also be expanded. It's not just the FGDC standard or the ISO standard. It can be expanded to, in the EPA's instance, they have very specific things that they say, you have to fill out X. It may be above and beyond other standards. And then we drill into, this is the geo platform or the cloud environment. So it further goes into the data itself. What kind is it? Is it a web map? Is it a map service? Who owns it? That's a big key thing. Who actually owns it? Because Michael Blair was here 10 years ago and now he's no longer here, but he still owns it. So we need to fix that. How many people are consuming this? Well, I'm in the ag department. I've submitted this map service, and I think it's the best data in the world. Well, it's only consumed by two things. So either that's a marketing issue, because I didn't tell people that my data is out there and it's really good, or people just don't like it. If it's a map service, where is it being hosted? Is it on-prem? Is it in the cloud? Is it in the geo platform? Where is it? And then in the enterprise library and last updated. So when was it checked? This further drills down into the actual map services. So what is the service? Where is it? How many layers are in that service? And again, all of this is being processed automatically through Python scripting. Then we can further go into, so I'm an enterprise. I don't always consume just my data, but I consume other people's data. So where are those other data sets, and are they active? Are they up? USGS has changed the server name. The URL has changed for that topo that I've been consuming all of these years through these web maps or these, emergency response services, and I need to make sure, is it running? Here's a quick dashboard. Yes. So here's the agency that owns it. Here's the office. Here's the URL or the REST endpoint that data service is coming from. Is it active? Green checks are good. We like green checks. And then any other additional notes, and we can then manipulate that data. It also has a change log. Actually, this drills into the map service a little bit more. So if you drill into you click on the map service itself, it gives you the name, it gives you the REST endpoint, when it was published, where's the environment, which server is it actually on? That's a key thing because I'm an IT director. RO9 GIS, it's an antiquated system. I need to migrate that to a new VM, and I'm going to change the name because I'm going to push it into Amazon Web Services, or I'm going to stand up a new server, and I'm going to call it RO10 or R19 GIS. Well, what's it going to break? What MXD was it actually published out of? That's a very important piece of information because the MXG drives the services. All of the information about the service platform and where is it? Then we can drill into the change log, what actually has occurred over time. So when it occurred, who did the change, what information it was changed on. So this again is for the administrator. I go in and I assign work. I say, you need to go in and update this metadata, or we need to do something with this. We're drilling into the feature classes again, further expanding on that data itself. So the databases, the feature classes, etc. And I think I have one more. And the last slide was actually an animated slide that I want to walk you through. This is my contact, and I'll throw it back up, but I want to show you the animation so you can get into a little bit more of the details. So you can see it a little bit more in action. And we do have this on our Innovate website. So if you go to innovateteam.com, we have this video with an audio track over it. So it goes into the more detail and a lot of the details. But it's going to show you a lot of the stuff that I just showed you that is interactive. It's all web-based. So I'm a user, I can go into the system, I can get my reports, I can drill into it, I can look at various data, I can see is the map, is it hosted on data.gov in this case, is it active, going into the map services now itself, drilling into it, it's all clickable. And this is what I was just showing you on the last slide. But this is all interactive. These are all clickable, and I can expand out various service layers, which feature services, which map layers there are. And this, again, it's real-time consuming of both the metadata, because there's this misnomer out there that metadata is a one-way street. No, metadata can actually go back and forth. So we can work with the metadata, consume it, and parse it back via these Python scripting functions that we have. So it's not just I have to ingest it, and because I don't know about you, I've been around the block too many years. I don't like to do metadata, but it's really important. So we need to have the tools in order to provide the systems that we can organize and manage our information much more effectively than how we've done it in the past. So this is a management tool that we have deployed out in the field. It's in production, it works. If you have any questions, I will take them at this time. Questions? Comments? Yes, sir.
Does it work on security services?
Yes. Yep. EPA has a lot of secured services. So based on your credentials, too, it will filter out various data. So it's not just one shop fits all or one credential. If I only have access to these data sets, I will only see the details of those data. Other questions? Nothing? I know it's late in the day, but come on. Yes? No? Maybe so. Okay. I will throw up my contact information. I'll be around for the next couple days, so if you have any burning questions or you want to learn how to do something similar, we can certainly talk to anyone about this. We did build it with EPA, so we're working through being able to deploy this in other environments that won't cost very much money. It will just be for the implementation. So it's a tool that we all paid for as taxpayers in this fine democracy that we have. So we're looking to be able to expand that out and be able to offer it as a solution to help other organizations to do very similar things. So with that, I leave you to the social. I told you I would give you back some time. So have fun. Thank you.